Hey guys, this is Coach OK or Miss OK. I am going to be doing a little watercolor galaxy tutorial with you all today. Um, we're going to first start off with, you want to have a watercolor palette, brush. I also have like a bigger brush that I use to like cover a bigger area of watercolor paints. I have some white paint for my stars, watercolor paper, and a cup of water you will need for this lesson. So make sure we go and get that like right now. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is I have a full sheet. I gave everyone a half sheet. Is you want to go ahead and fold, do a hot dog fold, and then do another type of fold. And get some scissors to go ahead and cut two sheets of your watercolor paper that you will have to use for this demo. So I went ahead and have my watercolor paper cut. The reason why I tell y'all to get watercolor paper, or if you happen to pick some up at the school, is because watercolor paper takes a better coverage when it comes to handling water with watercolors. Sketchbook paper is not watercolor paper, so it's not going to be very good with holding the water effects of what you want to come out of your watercolor drawing. So the first thing that you do is I'm going to dip my brush into the watercolor, dip it into water with the brush, with my bigger brush if you have one, and just wet my whole paper first. So you want to do that right now. Just clean water to make sure. So there you go. Is my paper is now not soaked, but wet with water. So the first thing that I think I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna do it with some blues and purples. The watercolor palette that I'm using today is the Prang watercolors. So I am gonna start off with a little bit of blue. And so you now see how the little effects that you can get whenever you're making the watercolor set right here. So I'm not doing anything special. I'm just gonna make it just kind of more of like a sky. Well, not necessarily a sky, the galaxy sky. So you just kind of want to go a little bit scraggly. Bring my watercolors here so y'all can see. Notice that I'm just not painting it completely blue. You just want to okay. So then next I'm gonna go ahead and grab some purple to mix into that blue area. So it's like almost like a little dabby areas. Just mixing it into my galaxy sky. I'm gonna actually dip some blue into here. Always make sure there's water on your brush, always, because that way, because this is watercolor drawing, so you want to make sure you're just enough water on your brush. So I'm right now trying to get some of the corner areas over here. So you're getting kind of a nice little effect right now. Now, if there's ever a time that you you went too dark on an area, it's good to have a sheet of paper towel on you, and you can always take value out just like that. Just in a dabby kind of motion. You're almost like getting like a tie-dye effect a little bit. So always keep paper towel on hand with you. So next is, I think now I'm gonna grab some black from my watercolor set. Make sure I have enough water on my brush. And I can even mix a little bit of purple into that too, just to make sure it's not necessarily black, or mixing a little bit of blue. I'm gonna mix some blue into there. Mix some purple into there. You don't wanna overwork your area whenever you're doing watercolors, only because the paper does eventually get to rip when you're having too much water on your paper. So how do you avoid that? You need to make sure you're working all around the area, and also be sure to make sure you're letting it dry. So right now, with this, I am gonna let it dry, because right now um, it needs to dry so I could see how far it dries. So I'm gonna now move this to the side. So then we have our second sheet of watercolor paper. So with here, I am gonna go a different approach. I'm just gonna use my pencil, and I'm actually using like a 2/4H, so it's really light so I don't see anything. So I'm doing clean water here, not necessarily that clean like I would like it to be, but that's okay. Just to wet the paper first. So my paper is completely wet. Don't want to get it soaked, but just have it wet enough. Dip my brush back here. So I want to play with some reds and the warm colors. So I'm gonna get that over here. Then I'm gonna get some orange. I'm gonna actually pull some yellows into here too. So now here, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm actually pull some blues into here. Pull that into here. Now pulling some purple. So right now, I'm gonna let this dry and come back to work on it. I'm not gonna add black just yet on this second one. Okay, so this is from the first one. It's actually, it's still a little bit wet, but that's okay. This is the effect so far of the galaxy. So another little tip, if you're wanting to do like little galaxy stars or whatever, I do have some white acrylic paint and a broken brush. You can use a toothbrush, it's up to you. I do not know if you have white acrylic paint around, but you can use that to help with creating little galaxy stars. So this is what's gonna make it look like it's a starburst of stars. I'm gonna use gloves because I don't want to get my hands dirty. Okay, so what I did was I'm gonna just get a little bit of some white paint and just flick it around here to make it to where it's a starburst. Dip in some paint there. If it gets into those little squirrely, that's okay. You can always make it to where it's like a thunderbolt or something. Okay. Or you can use the end of your paintbrush, depending on what you want to do. You can do it that way as well. Instead of doing like those little 5-point little stars, you want to make sure you're doing kind of realistic stars that way. Now, if you do not have white acrylic paint or any kind of paint laying around, you can use like a white crayon. That's fine. That's up to you. And when if your paper gets completely dry, you can just use a white crayon as well. Okay. So now I can let this completely dry. And you have a galaxy drawing painting, watercolor painting right here. Okay. My other one has not dried up yet, so I'll probably do that in another video. But until then, at least you have this one that is dry here. Once this is completely dry, let me actually leave this right here. Take a picture and upload it to your class dojo digital portfolio. Okay. I am going to make a part 2 video of when my other one eventually dries. Okay. Thank you so much. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you.